Hi, and welcome to Off the Cuff, presented by the Emerging Leaders Society by Spokane County United Way. Today, we are pleased to have Julie Griffith, the Executive Director of the Spokane County Bar Association, representing and being with us here today. We're so excited to have another one of our prominent leaders in the Spokane community come and visit with us. My name is Sage Swanson, and as I mentioned, we're joined by Julie. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Sage. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. So I'm excited to ask you a couple of questions that have just been on our minds. And one of the questions that we wanted to ask is, what event taught you the most about failure and how you approach failure today?
So you gave me the questions in advance, so thank you for
You're
that.
welcome.
So I got to think about this question quite a bit. And, there wasn't one failure because as an emerging leader, you're going to have lots of failures. And it's actually fortunate because what you'll do with those failures is you're going to learn from them. You're going to analyze what happened and also understand that you're taking risks. So with all those risks that you're taking, you're going to have failures. Analyze what happened and then seek to do something different if you're still seeking the same outcome, but you might not be seeking that outcome anymore. You might be seeking something totally different because your analysis said do something different. And what I have found through the bigger failures is there's something else out there that you're going to be successful at. So it steers you in a different direction. So you're still going to be successful, but in that mix, you're going to have some failures.
Yeah, your idea of success almost changes to adapt to what your failures were in helping you grow in that
Absolutely,
process.
yes.
Thank you. Is what drew you to Spokane in the first place what keeps you here? If not, how has your appreciation changed for Spokane?
My parents moved me here when I was 10, so that was some decades ago. And I went to school here, so I went to college here.
Oh, great.
But like most young professionals, I had to leave to get my first job. So I ended up in Minneapolis and I ended up in Seattle. Eventually, I had children and wanted to come back because I wanted to be with my family that was here. I also wanted to be able to afford a home. So now my adult children have left and I'm here. And the thing is, it still keeps me here. So Spokane still keeps me here because of not just affordability, though that's definitely lessened, but the fact that I can access hiking within 3 minutes of getting home.
So great.
And the people here are incredible people. And I think part of that is because we are hardy people. We have a lot of struggles here in Spokane. It's not just the economic climate that's always been a little bit of a slow train, but it's, there's some issues that have to be solved in Spokane. It's also the fact we have a 4-season climate that keeps me here, but also I go, oh my gosh, what happened this summer because it was too hot and it was too smoky to really enjoy it. So we're a hardy people, and I really do enjoy the people of Spokane, and I think that's what keeps me here.
That's great. That's a good word for it, hardy. Yeah. What makes you excited about Mondays? What gets you out of the bed in the morning?
I have to tell you, I love this question the most. And the reason why is because I have an incredible crew at work that I get to work with. I'm blessed to work with. Every Monday, it's a bit of a party. We get together Monday morning. We all talk about what happened over the weekend, what's happening this week. We're enthusiastic about the work. And I've really sought a position in which that I could be of great impact. That's always driven me as a leader, a professional. I want to be able to say at the end of the day that I made a difference. And the people that I work with all week long, all month long, they also are seeking to make a difference in the lives of our community members, as well as the members I get to work with, because remember, we're a member organization, so we have about 1,100 members of the legal community, and these members are just as passionate as we are. So they're seeking justice for all, which is an incredible mission that we get to work under.
So Monday you really view as being a fresh start. It's just your new opportunity to make an impact that week, or do you feel like it's an ongoing Monday?
It seems like every day is Monday. But and as a leader, you don't tend to have typical hours, right? So you might work a little bit over the weekend just to kind of clear the books. But Monday is a way to get back with the people who are also working on the same mission. So
Yeah.
you haven't worked with them for 2 days and it's like, yes, we get to be together again.
That's so exciting. You go to work
Yeah.
every day feeling that community. Thank you for sharing. What advice would you give to your 20-year-old self?
Well, I recently got some advice from my 30-something son, which I wish I had gotten 20 years ago.
Okay.
And the advice was, don't put oxygen on that fire. So throughout all my leadership roles, it has seemed like you always encounter people who are pretty fixed, right? They're not very flexible. They seem to be the people who probably cause the most problems, but you spend a lot of bandwidth on these folks who are not going to move. They're going to be stationary. They have a position in which they're not going to move from. And there is nothing that you can do about that except for do workarounds, that individual. So don't add oxygen to the fire just struck me like, oh my gosh, I wish I had learned that 20 years ago, because I tend to really try to work through those relationships and try to find solutions, but
Right.
that is a lot of work
Right.
when someone is not willing to budge or negotiate.
What a great piece of advice. And I feel like that's applicable in our social media platforms today, where everybody feels like they need to overshare something or share an opinion. And then the influencers or leaders that are on those platforms are wanting to put time into attention. And I feel like if only they knew that, they would realize that that isn't worth 80% of their time when the top 20% is actually life-giving.
Oh, yes. When you read social media comments, that's all oxygen,
Right?
adding it to the fire. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's great applicable advice for everyone. Thank you. Well, what is one piece of advice or book recommendation that you would give to our, in Spokane or otherwise, up-and-coming leaders?
We talked a little bit about this, just because I was laughing at the question, because I was one that would try to seek out leadership advice when it comes to books and just reading material. But I have found that those tend to get debunked over the course of time. And then you really start questioning, who is it that wrote the book? And was it just for money? And what kind of machine's behind that book? So today, really my focus is to learn from other leaders. I tend to seek out leaders that are true to their mission and really work on being a mission-driven organization or business. And I find those leaders, it could be through LinkedIn, it could be locally that I have found the leaders. And the other thing is immerse yourself in person. So don't live off social media alone or remotely. Join a Rotary Club, join a service club, get to know people in your community, because those folks in person are going to be the greatest influence on you as an emerging leader. So do get involved. Just call a leader for coffee. They'd be happy to help.
Yeah, that's great advice. Do you feel like it's easy to see which leaders are truly authentic to their mission and to maybe their life purpose?
Some are definitely more visible than others. I think probably the best one that I've seen recently is the CEO of Coinbase, so cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Came out with a great statement about how they're going to stay true to their mission.
Oh, that's neat.
And so I've kind of used that to also center me, because I think with any organization, you can get distracted by whatever is in the moment, right? What are we focusing on today, which is not going to be popular tomorrow, but to focus on your mission and to stay true to your mission, and also carry your employees and your board and your members along to really, this is where we are and this is where we're going to stay.
Yeah.
Let's not get distracted.
That's great. The realignment, the equilibrium, coming back to what the mission originally was. I mean, we hear businesses all the time spit off a wonderfully well-crafted mission statement, but how do we know that that's what's keeping them accountable to it today? So that's great.
Right. And if you have to revise your mission statement, that's okay too.
Yeah. yeah, part of that journey of growing as a business and growing in the community. Well, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure, Julie. I really appreciate it. Well, thank you so much for watching Off the Cuff, presented by the Emerging Leaders Society and Spokane County United Way. Don't forget to watch other videos with some of our prominent leaders in Spokane. Give Julie a warm welcome if you ever see her out and about in our area. And also, please check us out on Facebook and on Instagram, and of course here on YouTube. Thanks so much.